Good morning, everyone. This is Kosher Podcast. Today is November 7th, and today we're just going to be discussing some interesting things and some interesting topics, kind of discussing what it's like to be a younger sibling, just living with siblings in general. Today I have on by my side is my mom.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, So as I was stating, today we're going to be talking about siblings, but especially going into what it's like to be a younger sibling. And I'm going to state that I am the youngest sister of two older brothers who are 27 and 28, and I'm 16.
And actually, I am a younger sister and I'm an older sister. I'm in the middle of two brothers. So it's kind of like we both have two brothers.
Two older brothers who are around. Two big brothers.
Yeah,
for real.
He's my little big brother. They're both bigger than me, so yeah.
Honestly. The driving question for today is going to be how being a younger sibling can shape who you are as a person.
Oh, wow.
So, I think we're going to start off by discussing how some of the things that are relatable that other people can relate to when they're a younger sibling.
Right.
Like,
that's really deep. Because being a girl is already hard enough having just two brothers. That's a whole nother topic.
That's just a whole huge discussion there.
But I can say that it can probably bring a lot of different feelings and a lot of different emotions. Yeah. You can probably learn a lot and learn how to grow.
Especially for listeners who are the oldest, they probably listen to this and be like, dang, that's how being the youngest sibling feels. But at the same time, they'll also be able to be like, that's why you should feel like that, because you're the youngest and we're the oldest, so we have to deal with more. Sometimes older siblings feel like they are also the parents too. Yeah. And that they deserve it because they've also taken care of those kids.
Yeah.
And the younger siblings, I feel as in they don't really know what it's like to take care of people because everybody takes care of them.
Yeah, that's true.
So
kind of get held on everybody's hip, while you're younger.
Right, you're on everybody's hip. Everybody wants to hold you, and you're just the precious baby out of everybody, and they try to hold you back from stuff that they don't want. Like other kids had experienced, they don't want you to because you're the baby. And
it's all a part of them saving us, I think. Because my big brother, he was like he saved me, Right. And like I said, it's a lot this is a good topic.
Sometimes
because
I feel like Mel is like my hero.
Yeah, like you only know what you know. Like a brother, you have to have one. You have to have that big brother to know what the feeling. And it is. I'm glad you brought up feelings and how you grow and mold yourself, because it brings off so many different feelings when it comes to that. And some of them you won't know unless you literally are a little sister with a big brother.
Right. And then when you have two big brothers, you have two bodyguards.
Double trouble.
Two bodyguards
everywhere you go. Double trouble. You're going to have it hard. That's what happens in life. You're sometime when you're the youngest, they don't want you to grow, or they feel like nobody will never be good enough for you.
Right. And it makes you feel like, dang, like, let me grow up. I'm not a baby. But at the same time, I'm glad that you're there.
Yeah.
That you're there for me, because there's certain people that aren't. And I know that I'll always have my big brothers.
Yeah. There's something else.
Right.
They're very good to have. I have a friend, and she's a very close friend down in San Diego. And it's just her and her sister. She always used to tell me, you're so lucky to have a brother. I don't know what it feels like. Now I know what she means. Because it's a feeling that you can't explain. You only will know if you have a big brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? That protected
it's
you
like
and was your savior.
It's a different happy feeling.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling in your heart.
Yes.
And when you see your brother and you see them doing good, or you're just seeing them and just being happy, it's like,
it's someone to look up to.
Right, and you just want to hold them, just give them a big hug.
Yeah. That's a cool topic, being siblings and being raised in the house and wearing my brother's starter jackets back in the days, and
basketball shorts.
Different things you could take from them. And then not to take away that there's things that they probably get on your nerve with too, like you're just siblings. Sibling rivalry.
Siblings are going to love each other very much, but also get on each other's nerves.
But I can honestly say, like, I never really have a problem with my brother. Like, either one, they're always the same.
Right.
They stay the same. They've been the same my whole life. They don't
act different.
Yeah, and so I don't know. They've always treated me the exact same. And it's like massive love, you know, and it's a good feeling to have siblings. I know people out there that I have a best friend in San Diego as well, and he is the only child, and he has 6 kids.
The only child too.
So I know how it's hard, you know. I have a cousin in Las Vegas. She's the only child. She has multiple children. So I know that's a different feeling that you get, which could be a different topic later on down the line, having no siblings versus growing up with siblings.
Having no siblings, you really don't understand what it's like. As I feel what it likes to be the only sibling, is you don't know what it's like to have people around you all the time. And maybe that's a reason why only child seem to have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Because
that's
they
true.
like people around.
That's true. That's how it happens. And you know what's crazy is that your brother, you know, he was the only child for 10 years before you came.
Right.
You know, you're the third girl in 30 years in the family. It's all boys. So I think you were here as a blessing because everybody needed a girl.
A little girl.
And it was good because ain't no more coming this way. But he was the only child is what I was saying for like 10 years. So it trips me out that he knows how to play and get along. And where we went, he didn't have a problem with hanging out and fitting in with the other kids and playing.
Right.
And then going back and still being at home by himself playing with his own stuff. And I got a second son. You know, because it's crazy that's how close just me and my big brother is, that his son is my son.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Ty's son, yes.
Ty, yeah, that's my second son. So,
and especially cousins who are raised around each other.
Our brothers.
Brothers.
They were brothers.
And sisters, like they're siblings. That's how they just count each other.
So it's like, even though he was by himself, he wasn't. He had a cousin brother or a brother cousin. You know, and it's really real. And that's another feeling that you get. And it's a different feeling. And you know what's crazy? And how history repeats itself is because your brother's dad, when I met him back in the days when we were teenagers, he had a brother cousin that he was raised with. And so that and history repeats itself in so many ways.
And it probably repeats with me, like how I'm a little sister just like you.
Yeah, like, you know, which is another topic that they'll have to tune in later on to get. But I just appreciate you having me here and just talking about siblings. I had no idea, you know, and I'm proud of you up 4 a.m. podcast live. You know, like this is some priceless type stuff right here, and talking to you about growth and feelings and siblings and stuff that most people don't even think about on a day-to-day basis, how important it is.
People who don't keep in contact with their siblings, people who don't have close relationships or wasn't raised around them. What I can say is that I'm closer to one of my brothers than the other, but that's because I was raised with one and was around one.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. So that's some feelings too that only one that went through that would know how that feels inside.
Right. So we're going to go ahead and get into talking about some of the positive and negative qualities of being the youngest sibling, especially a little sister. So with some of the negatives, it seems like little sisters or just the youngest always gets treated like the baby, and that they cannot reach out and do stuff that they want because everybody wants to know. No, you're the youngest and you're precious and you can't do this and we don't want you to do that and we're worried about you doing this, and it's like, whatever. Especially when it comes to boys and girls, because boys, and then they're older, they get to do more roughing things and the girls just can't. It'll be times where I used to be like, you let me ride the bus and stuff. But before I used to be like, Mel would be all across town.
Yeah, on his own.
Because he was a boy.
Yeah.
But I'm a girl, and it's harder for me.
It's different.
It is different, but you just gotta trust it.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta trust it.
Just like
you know,
you just gotta trust it.
And I trust you. You know, I trust you. I don't trust everyone else. You know, and unfortunately, that's just how it is. And it's going to seem like it's negative. It's going to seem like, you know, that the boys are more able to go out on their own and do stuff. Because, you know, I would let your brother walk home a long walk where I drove you every day.
Right.
I drove you to the same school every day that I let him walk home from.
That's crazy.
You know, so I know that, you know, it can feel like negative, and that, you know, either not even being a girl and just being the youngest and stuff that parents want to hang on. You got to trust.
Right.
You know, like, you're young, and I always tell people that, you know, the youngest sibling, other people been here before you, so they can give you some advice. You know, they can school you on a little bit of things, whereas, you know, this is the millennium now, so youngsters is thinking like, oh, I know everything already.
Right.
You know, and
especially this newer generation.
Yeah, like, wow.
Phones are giving people to believe.
Yeah. Kids is walking around with iPhones now, like 5 years old, typing in YouTube.
It was an 8-year-old with an iPhone 8 Plus at that hotel thing. I was like, what are you doing with an 8 Plus at 8? Like, you don't even need a phone like that. Yeah. Or that little girl at the eyeglasses place where she had the Apple Watch and a tablet. You're gonna raise your kids thinking they know everything.
Yeah, and it's okay to give your kids nice things, but at the same time, what are you doing when they're all engaged in those things? Right. Where's the parent? You know, sometimes those things are babysitters, like the lady yesterday who said she had 19 grandchildren. And she said everybody got iPhones except the little one, you know. So 19 grandchildren, all of them got iPhones. Somebody's rich for starters. But, you know, just knowing, like, everybody, she said, well, they like dancing. Okay, so, you know, there is positive and negative with that too. But anyway, you know, just being negative with the situation as far as being the youngest, nobody will never be up to par to suit you in your brother's eyes, especially
when it comes to like relationships and dating. Like, I remember when I was telling Ray about Desmond, and he was like, I don't like him, I don't care, I don't like him. Like, didn't even see a picture of him, didn't even know his name, never met him. Nope. Yeah. Don't like him.
Yeah.
Don't.
Automatically.
Like, sir. And Mel was like, he was more supportive, but Mel was also like, no, you better not settle for that. You better not do this. And nope, you better go tell him to go do this instead. Yeah. And, no, you're not doing this. He's going to do that for you. Like, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot that you deal with the older you get. When I said that Richard took me to McDonald's, Mel was all like, you not no McDonald's girl. Yeah. Well, you're not. But see, like I said, too, is that it's okay because that was a nice... That was the whole. If you look at the whole big picture, right? The big picture. See, but some people, a big brother, because you're their little sister, they are gonna find one little nitpick in the whole situation. But like your uncle, who's my brother, he looked at it like that was just the best. You know what I mean? Right. The overall picture when he looked at it was like, wow, you know, I'm proud of her. But of course, your brother gonna be like, what the heck? Have you ever had moments where like you felt like Uncle was like too overprotective when it comes to dates, or just anything, like, calm down, like it's not gonna be all like that? And you know what? I'll tell you the honest truth. I hid a lot of dates. Really? I kept it to myself, and then, you know, of course, it's crazy also too, which I can tell you to be careful of, is that the older you get, even some of your brother's friends will start looking at you. They'll start watching and looking and talking to you slicker than what they used to talk to you when you were 13 and 12 and little. Now that I'm 19 and 20, now you're looking at me different and your words are different. So now I got to look at you different. So those negative aspects of being the little sister of big brothers too. Right, but some of my brother's friends. But how did Uncle react? Like, was he mad that his friends was getting at you? You know what? Because I would say again that for the sake of some, I wouldn't say a word. I didn't say a word, but I let them know it's not going to happen. Right. And please let it go and not find it disrespectful.
And then the ones that were too disrespectful, I told him. I don't know how he dealt with it because, of course, with him being the man and him saying I'll deal with it, it's him dealing with it. I
listen to my brothers.
All I can say is that he must have, because I didn't have those problems anymore.
I wonder how Mel would react.
I don't know. My brother's more liberal than your brother's.
Liberal?
Like, my brother's more precious and understanding and stuff, you know, and he understands a lot more, and he has like a lot of, he gives people the benefit of the doubt,
right?
You know, whereas your brother
just doesn't.
What I know of both of your brothers, yeah,
they're with it.
They're not giving no one the benefit of the doubt at all if they don't have to, whatsoever.
Period.
You know, and they not asking no questions. You know, basically just all gas, no brakes. So you have it more harder.
I know.
You know, than I would as a young girl. I think in a way
that's very protective. You know how girls always be like, I'm going to go get my brother. Like to do some stuff. Yeah. I don't plan on ever doing that, but I know that I can do that.
Yeah.
That
absolutely. And I got my little big brother who, I don't have to say I'm gonna go get my brother. He already be like, who you want me to go?
Right, he's already asking who.
And so I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that I have them, you know, because they made me feel like so protected. That's one good feeling. You can get a sense of protection, even if once you get out in the world, you're not gonna have that same feeling from everybody. Right. So, you know, to know that you can count on them, some people don't have that. Some people, like I said,
they don't have that support.
Single children, you know, just solo. They don't have anyone else that they can call up unless you got a sister, you know, a sister cousin or a brother cousin.
Right. Or siblings who are by themselves, but maybe just they don't know that they have siblings. Or like, it's like that one TV show that plays where that guy like was a sperm donor, and he all the people that was born from
him,
what's it called, didn't know they had siblings, but they were because of all from the same man.
Right.
So in a way, that's kind of like growing up thinking you're the only child and meeting, or like Sweet Cakes, who lived her whole life thinking she was the only child, and then they went and did generation thing, and they found out she had a brother, but it was after she passed away.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So her whole life she thought she was the only child. And I remember her telling me that I'm the only child. And when Granny passed away, she was like, I ain't got nobody to battle over nothing with. It was my mama. I took care of her to the end, and I'm the only child, and that's it. So I remember her telling me that. So it goes, I guess it goes both ways.
Yeah.
You know.
And one thing I say about being a little sister, your brothers treat you a little bit more aggressive. Or maybe I can just say my brothers are a little bit more aggressive than me because I'm a girl.
Yeah.
I remember, but not really too aggressive where they hit me. I don't remember any of my brothers hitting me. But their way of like solving problems or handling things is a more aggressive way than mine, because I'm all caring about feelings and stuff, and they think with logic and do this.
Right.
So it seems more harsh.
Right.
Especially when it comes to tough love, getting it from your brother. It's hard to accept in your heart, but like you do, because you know your brother would never lie to you. They're just telling you.
Yes.
And it's hard, especially when it's boys. It's kind of hard to fit in with boys and how they feel and think about stuff, and then you have to sit back. Like, even just with boy cousins, too. I never felt like I could really fit in with them when I was younger. With Mel and Ty and Devin and all of them, especially because they all played football. And I would just be in the bleachers just watching. Yeah. Because I'm not and where they would come out here for Thanksgiving, they all be playing football in your living room, and I'd just be standing there watching, because I'm not trying to get all in no living room football. Yeah.
But that's crazy, because that's what they do.
And I remember one time they were playing football in the living room, and they broke one of my art pieces that I made, that I had just made at school, and I got mad, and I was all like,
which made you feel more,
he was like, and I don't care,
which made you feel more negative about.
And I was like, dang, like they don't even. And then Mel was laughing.
Yeah, because
like,
they're
my
boys.
Big brother was laughing that somebody broke.
They're boys, and because they're non-emotion, you know. You might get a couple. I think men get more emotional when they get a little bit older.
Yeah.
But as a youth, it's a wreck. It's a train wreck. Don't look for it. Don't look for it. Don't even have the great expectations of it until
they start getting older.
Yeah, until they start getting older and just understanding more about life. It must be pretty damn reckless, being a young lad is what I would say. But then, I remember you coming home from the hospital, and I remember your brother holding you and doing everything, and he was 10, and he knew how to do stuff, and he knew how to hold you, and he knew how to burp you, and little things like that when he was only 10 years old, and he was a protector.
Right.
He already knew you would lay in his bed while he played whatever, Madden,
Xbox.
Yeah, or whatever them games was. And then when you got old enough and be bothering him, you would still be in his bed, but he'll give you your own controller.
With no batteries?
With no batteries. And you be sitting there thinking you playing, and it kept you busy. Aww. But he took care of you. He was proud. He's a proud. And today, he's still like, I wish somebody would.
Right.
And I'd be like, just calm down, brother, calm down. But he's like, nah, ma. You don't understand. That's my little sister.
Right.
And I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Because it's his feelings.
Right.
And I can tell, just feelings alone, you have to be able to deal with them. Right. And a lot of people ignore their feelings and just want to stay numb to truth.
A lot of people don't like accepting the truth. And it hurts. But it's better to get over than that than to live in a full of lies. Just living in lies and stuff in a few days.
Yeah. Yeah. To just bring it all back into,
right.
The negatives and the positives. You can just see
some
how
more
far.
Positives. Being the youngest is having someone to be able to talk to.
Yeah.
When you can't seem to express it to anyone else. Just talking to your siblings.
Yep.
What's it called? From research I did outside, I learned that younger siblings, 69% feel they can open up to their siblings, while only 31% felt that they could open up to their parents. So that shows that a lot of people feel more comfortable telling things to their siblings
than their own parents.
Right. But I heard some people that said that over time they learned that they really can't trust their siblings because their siblings might go and tell their parents, or they feel more comfortable opening up to their parents.
Right.
I don't know. I feel more comfortable opening up to both of you guys because I'm around you more, so I'm always going to talk to you.
Well, I tell both, my kids, I have an open door policy. I don't have a judge. I can't judge. The only thing I can do is just stick together and move forward. That's what you do. I think a parent should never put their kids against each other.
Right.
Because some parents do that.
Comparing them. I wish you were more like this one.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I never got compared to my older siblings. But probably also because I'm a girl. I can't get compared to two big men.
That's a positive thing. You won't ever have to worry about being anywhere in their shoes or nothing like them. You have your own shoes you can walk in.
Right.
As a sibling of two big, huge brothers.
Huge.
And you only being 5 feet or whatever.
I'm
really 5'2".
How tall
Hallelujah. Your brothers are 6'4".
6'4" and
6'3" and 6'4" or 6'5".
Whew.
Yeah,
huge.
you're.
You need stepped on even trying to get next to him.
Mm-hmm. So you're very fortunate. That's a positive thing.
Going with that, I feel like both of my brothers have treated me like a princess.
Yes.
Which is a good feeling because you should get treated like a princess.
Yes. And then when you got hurt on the outside world, they were still able to pull you in. That's how you know that when you get older as a man or a young man, you could tell the change, which you can see.
Right.
Dealing with just people at school and their behavior, and then seeing your brothers.
Right.
And then seeing your cousins and your uncles.
Right.
And the difference of how people react to stuff. So I think you have some positive and, a lot of positive going for yourself by being the younger sibling.
Having those male figures in your life. to see. Imagine growing up with no brothers, no boy cousins, like that lady at the store said, all girls and one boy.
Yeah.
Imagine living your whole life around just girls. I wouldn't know what that feels like.
I don't want to know what that feels like, but
yeah, because definitely by saying just being on the cheer team, being with a whole bunch of girls who I wasn't even related to and wasn't even around a lot that much.
Were you the only black?
No.
Oh, okay. I think that's a big thing, but
but that also shows in your race and your culture and how you respect your siblings more. Different cultures and stuff probably show more respect probably to brothers because they're, especially like in places where they have kings and where they marry their daughters into things and stuff. Little sisters are probably more sacred and precious, and the father or the older brother has to choose who she gets married to. She can't go
like
out.
My nail lady. She said my dad chose my husband, and I didn't know my husband. My dad picked my husband for me. That's how we raised her. He was picked for my mom. And I was like, wow, that's deep. Right. What if your brothers had to pick your husband?
I don't want that to happen, but I always said that I wanted my brothers to walk me down the aisle when I get married.
Yes.
If I ever get married.
If you ever get married, yes.
I would want my brothers to walk me down.
That would be nice.
That would be.
They would have to give you away.
Because
that's the only way that you'll be able to go.
Right. My brothers would have to walk me down.
Yeah. I think you got some positive, attributes going on.
And just to kind of say, you get another view on music and fashion and food and just seeing their friends and seeing the things that they're into, you get like a different view. I definitely say that I got some of my music from Mel.
Yeah.
I can say that a lot of my style can also come from how Mel used to dress her. Mel used to be fitted.
He's unique.
Very unique. And which makes me want to be unique because I can see how my Mel doesn't stand in the crowd.
Yeah,
he stands out of the crowd. He looks different from everyone else, but it's a good different. Yeah. And I want to be that good different.
Yeah. Amen.
And music, especially because Mel is a rapper, it made me look at artists so different. Like, I don't care. Like, everybody, it would seem like you would say your brother is the best rapper, but my brother.
And writers, because he can write. So
write, poetry, sing, and rap.
Yeah.
Good fashion, can model.
Yeah.
And smart.
Yeah.
Book smarts, street smarts, and prison smarts.
Yeah.
My brother is the smartest man on the world.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. And that's the most important. That's the most important. And your other big brother.
Free Melly. While
Kosher.
we're on air. Free Melly, Kosher Life.
Kosher.
Shout out to TC Doe. Shout out to Mob Dev. Shout out to TC Relly.
Check them out. San Mateo College. Yes. Terrell Carter. I'm thankful even you have 2 sides and 2 brothers to look forward to for positiveness.
What I can say, and I will say it on the podcast, 1 brother who was in prison and 1 brother who went to college. Yeah. What you say, 1 in jail and 1 in Yale?
1 in jail and 1 in Yale, baby. Yep. But but it's real. You got negative and positive.
I definitely get 2 different views of my brothers, seeing which, seeing their view of the world. I can learn different things from each of them.
Yeah, because I can see where Ray he can show you another avenue and how he has been there in other aspects for you.
Helping me with college, and he has knowledge and stuff that that's someone I can reach out to, especially because it's starting to be college time where I'm gonna have to really be around him and need help with certain things. Yeah, and just there because especially he lives in Vegas now with us,
which is a blessing.
I have a big brother here in the city with me.
Amen. Yep, and you need him. You need him because. Once again, that's another positive thing. Just making sure you got that protection.
Right.
Just that undivided protection and that love coming from brothers is the best. So I'm glad you really had this whole topic.
I know. I feel like we really discussed a lot today. Not controversial, but some really good things to talk about that you don't really hear people address.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, it was a good thing you brought it up and just feelings and, I'm eager to come back. I want to come back again and,
because
on another one of your topics one day and just be here to support you in any kind of way for your podcast. I think you're doing really well in this.
I think this was a really good podcast today. I hope we wasn't sounding too foggy. I'll cut that out.
Yeah, it's at 4 a.m., but you got to get that audience in there.
But it's cool, like, recording early in the morning.
Yeah.
It's cool just being vibing right now, just chilling.
Yeah, I like this. I like the chai tea that we got going, so thank you for the
tea right now.
Nice hot chai tea. And
So today we have here Zayquan, who is the youngest of 7 kids. So we're going to be here asking him some questions on how he feels about being the youngest. Hi, how are you feeling today?
Good, how are you?
We're doing great. So I'm going to start off by asking you how it feels to be the youngest sibling.
Feels kind of good, but at the same time, there's like certain restrictions being the youngest, considering that my other siblings have already been through the process of growing up.
Has your mom made it a little bit easier to raise you because she's already raised so many kids before you?
Yeah, definitely. She doesn't have like problems with me or having problems raising me, considering she already raised the other siblings.
What are some positive things about being the youngest sibling?
I mean, getting whatever you want, because there's not that many people in the house anymore. So like being the youngest, everything goes towards me.
Do you ever feel like everyone considers you? Everybody always has to consider the youngest child?
Yes, because when we do like family events, or even if my siblings are going out somewhere, you always got to get everyone involved. And even though I'm the youngest, and so some things might not be a concern.
Do you feel as in you never have to consider your other siblings?
Younger days, when I was younger, I would never like consider like my older siblings. I was always about myself and how I did things. But definitely growing up right now in my teens, I definitely like to involve my older siblings.
When it comes to opening up about certain situations, do you feel more comfortable talking to your mom, or do you feel more comfortable opening up to your siblings?
Definitely my siblings. Even though it'd be like me and my mom, I feel more comfortable talking about my siblings because they've been through current life as it is and not like older days.
Do you think that you receive special treatment more?
Yes, because the other day my sister was like, Zayquan, you definitely got more things than we did, and you are more likely to have more things than we ever did. Yeah, I definitely feel more like I get whatever I want when I want.
Have you ever felt like you were alone, or that you were lonely, or felt left out because you were the youngest?
Yes, so like my brothers and sisters are half siblings from me and from each other as well. So they would always go, when I was younger, they would go to their dad's house over the summer. And so it'd just be me and my mom at home. And, I was kind of close with one of my brothers. And so every time he would go to California with his dad, it'd just be like, I was left out on a lot of things. But it definitely grew like a bigger bond with me and my mom.
You stated that now it's just you are the only child in the house. Do you enjoy being the only child at the house more, or do you wish you have siblings around?
It would be cool if I'm like my brother in the house, but definitely just being the only one in the house, it gives me more to like focus on myself.
What is one of your favorite memories with your older siblings?
My favorite? There's so many though. Okay, a favorite memory will be like with my siblings when we went out on the strip one time, and it was just us. Our mom gave us money, and we were just going around each place, to the shopping center, to New York. And we were just having sibling bonding time, and I think that was really great. There was definitely one time I remember like how you explained early on previously about being alone, and I kind of like felt really bad about not fitting in or feeling left out. And so they would always be like, oh yeah, you're definitely not left out, it's just certain things that you can't do right now since you're younger. And so that restriction was there. But they definitely let me know, when you get older, we're going to have more fun and just do more things together.
Do you ever have feelings of not wanting to be the youngest sibling? Have you ever felt like, I wish I wasn't the youngest, or I wish I was a little bit older with them, or I was the middle child or the oldest?
Yeah, my brothers and siblings were definitely fun in their teenage years, but definitely seeing them as adults now, they're a bit more serious with their lives. So I'm kind of grateful for where I stand.
So for the second interview today, we have Janiya, who is the oldest sister of another sister. So, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
We're doing good. So the first question I'm going to ask you is how it feels to be the oldest sibling.
It feels great to be looked up to and to be considered as a role model.
Okay. What are some of the positive things about being the oldest sibling?
Some positives of being a big sister is giving my sister advice with things I went through and that she is now experiencing.
Okay. And some of the negatives?
Some negatives is I have to bring her everywhere, even when I have to hang out with my friends, which gets really frustrating.
Do you ever feel like you are considered or that you are being considered by your family or your sibling?
I feel considered sometimes, but that some things that concern my age limit and stuff, but things that I want to do, my family will ask my sister first.
And do you feel like you are always considering your little sister?
I always have to consider her, considering that she is younger than me.
Do you give your sister hand-me-downs?
I give my sister hand-me-downs all the time, but I don't like it because she has way more clothes than me now.
Do you think that your sister receives special treatment or is treated better than you are?
I do think my sister gets special treatment because when she gets in trouble, it's Janiya, why would you let her do that? You're supposed to set a good example when it's her fault and it's nothing I can do about it.
Do you feel more comfortable opening up to your parents or to your sister?
When I was younger, I felt more comfortable opening up to my sister. But now that I'm older, I feel like my parents can give me advice that I have to deal with now because my sister wouldn't understand considering she's younger than me.
Do you feel like as a role of being an older sibling is to protect your younger siblings at all time?
I am very protective towards my sister, even though she's more aggressive than me. But I always want to make sure she's going in the right path and not getting in trouble.
What is one of your favorite memories with your sister?
My favorite memory with my sister is binge watching Netflix with snacks and recreating scenes from TV shows and movies.
Do you ever have feelings of not wanting to be the oldest sibling?
Yeah, I wonder how it feels to be a middle child or a younger child, considering that now that I'm older and I see how she is treated different than I am and how I see other people treat younger kids differently.
So we are here today interviewing Chris, who is the oldest brother of 4 siblings. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling well. I'm kind of tired, but you know what? That's the grind every day. So,
Exactly. I just want to ask you, how does it feel to be the oldest sibling?
Okay. I actually really like it because I can be a good example to my younger siblings, but I feel like it's a lot of pressure sometimes because they all look up to you and you all hey, you have to help them with homework or whatever, stuff like that. You just have to be for them. You have to be there for them a lot.
Right. What are some of the positive things about being the oldest sibling or an older brother in general?
I believe that I can set a good example for my siblings and I can help them and guide them through the ways of life because I've been through their experiences already, middle school, elementary school, etc.
And what are some of the negative things?
Oh, they tend to bother me a lot, especially when it comes to like helping them. Sometimes when I'm like not in the mood or I'm super busy myself, I have to like tell them to wait a minute. But eventually I do tend to help them because, you know, I'm their oldest and like they rely on me in one way.
Period. Do you ever feel like you were considered, that people consider you first?
I think it's a 50-50 split because I feel like some people like base me just off my personality and like don't know like my backstory or stuff like that. They believe I can be like the only child or like the youngest sibling, but like so other people can see me like as responsible and like mature in a way. So they see me as like that. Yeah.
Do you find yourself considering your younger siblings more than yourself, or just considering them all the time?
Oh, I usually tend to consider them most of the time because like there's some situations where I have to like think about them and their safety and like their time, and then I think about myself because I know I can do stuff for myself, but most of the time they can't.
Do you give any of your siblings hand-me-downs?
Actually no. I usually either donate them to like the thrift store or I throw them out.
Do you ever try to not make your siblings feel left out in certain situations? Do you ever be like, oh, but I don't want to feel left out, or I want them to be included?
Usually I want to be real, it's usually 50-50 again with that too, because sometimes when it's like something like a game or whatever, I usually get a little more picky with that because like it's not like as necessary, but like if it's necessary like homework or like doing that, definitely I will like try to make them as inclusive, but like usually I try to.
Do you think that your younger siblings receive special treatment because they're the youngest?
No, I honestly have seen this with like how my mom treats us. He treats all of us and like stuff like that. I feel like we all get like equal treatment in a way. She doesn't have like a specific favorite. She just like tends to rely on me a little bit more to help her out with the kids. But yeah.
Okay. What is one of your favorite memories with your siblings?
Oh, especially when we like go hang out with them, I take them to like the park or I take them to like the mall and they're like walking around. They ask me for something, I can like buy it for them. I feel really good because I feel like I'm helping them out in a way.
Right. Do you feel as a big brother, it's a role for you to protect your younger siblings?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's like my first priority when it comes to watching them, when it comes to like hanging out with them, when it comes to like doing stuff with them. I always take that into consideration.
Do you feel that you can open up more to your siblings or to your parents?
I've always felt closer to like my parents, but like I do sometimes tell my younger, like one of my sisters about some stuff that's going on, but usually it goes to like my mom most of the time.
Do you ever have feelings of wishing that you weren't the oldest, that sometimes you maybe the middle child or the youngest child?
Sometimes I do, but most of the times I don't, because like I feel like I can really help like inspire my siblings, but sometimes I wish I could like sit back and relax and take like the role of like the youngest sibling.
How do you think being a big brother or just being the oldest sibling shapes you to who you are as a person?
I feel like since I do tend to have to like act like the mature one and be like the mature one, I tend to like kind of give off the vibes in a way, like being like the one that bosses them around and like responsible for them. I can do that, but most of the time I feel like it doesn't affect my personality as much.
So for the final question, do you have any thoughts or opinions or any final comments on being an older brother?
Being an older brother and like being an older sibling in general, I feel like is a lot of responsibility, but like you're here for a reason and you do that for a reason. So you just have to watch out for your younger siblings, just like take care of them, inspire them, and teach them the best.
Thank you so much for being interviewed. So today, I think we talked about a lot of good and some side things to talk about, being a little sister, being the youngest child, ways how an oldest child might feel, and how your parents are when it comes to raising siblings and living in a household with them. We've talked about some pretty good things. You think we did?
Yeah, I think you covered a lot. I think so many topics led to other topics that you probably got to come back to those on another time.
Definitely.
But you talked about a lot. We got a lot covered with just being a younger sibling, being a middle child, being the only girl.
Thank you guys for coming out again. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for having me. I'm just proud to be part of this whole, show today. I think it went well. You covered a lot, and I appreciate you for having me. I'm looking forward to coming back to your next podcast.
Definitely. Thank you for all my interviews, and thank you guys for coming in and listening. My Instagram is Kosher Anaiya. so is my Twitter. And remember to always keep it kosher. And
100.
We'll see you guys again next time.
Amen.